so glad to have you here at a reactive film screening. I know there's a lot of people that have been following reactive film, which is only 2 years old, and a lot of new people that are coming for their first time. So a little bit about reactive film. Dennis and I are actually film lovers. We have decided to, out of pure passion, to create a non-for-profit where we take the best issue-based documentaries and showcase them to people in order to get them more involved in social issues. So by using film as a vehicle versus books or newspaper. And 3 things you need to remember of reactive film. We want to expose you to a very important issue. We want to engage you in a conversation, and we want to inspire you to make a change. What's incredible is that this film, at the very end, Harry Belafonte talks about inspiring people to become activists, and reactive film is about inspiring people to become activists.
When we march up Highway 80, one of the most moving moments was to see Harry Belafonte meet us before we walked into Montgomery.
Harry did this over and over and over and over and over and over again.
It's a great day. Great day. Great day. And there are millions on the way.
What was the formative experience that helped you take that first step?
Poverty and living with it every day, the inequities are vast on the simplest of levels. And every day you have to negotiate your way through those inequities. When I saw a black man being beaten or a cop who was being unfair, that motivated me to want to level that playing field. When I joined up to serve in the United States Navy, I didn't join just to escape the brutality of poverty and the absence of education and overcoming the plague of dyslexia and all the things that plagued me as a child. It was also because I saw a force that was fighting something that was terribly unjust. And it was what was happening with Adolf Hitler. All these forces that made up the Axis power. And that the resistance to them was a necessity just from your basic humanity. Democracy was our cause. That we were going to end this thing of a superior race with Hitler, and that all of us had a role to play. And my mother was one of those people who counseled me to that fact. She said, with all that we're experiencing in America, in the final analysis, what racism will arrive at is all the cruelty that you're seeing in this fascist force coming out of Germany. And there sits our first line of battle. If we don't chip in and help to change that, we'll never be able to change what's going on here. So I was kind of inspired by her. I also think that you have to shape some kind of a moral place in which you reside. I think that if anything, and anybody to ask me what is the one thing that most defies America, I would say that it's our absence of a certain moral code. Dr. King once said that if you do not have a moral center to what you do, then what you do will not have the balance in making change because it is morally flawed.
And I'm wondering, what was the best piece of advice that you ever got from your mother, from your grandmother in Jamaica, or maybe a motherly figure like Eleanor Roosevelt, who I know you spent time with?
I make the point very early in the film when she said, never wake up knowing that there was something that you could do to stop injustice. That really became the lighthouse for everything I did in life.
How do you think people can react, I guess, positively to this film and to the message of your life?
I think there's always an eagerness in people to respond to something that they find immoral, unethical, or unfair. A lot of times people say, God, I would love to be able to do something about it. What can I do? And always my first response to them is, I can think of a million things you can do. My question to you is, what do you want to do? it's what you want to do and how deeply engaged are you emotionally. People are, I think, most threatened by what the cost is for activism. One of the things I think I tried to impart in the way in which the film was shaped by Suzanne Rostow was that maybe it's not as costly as you think. I would hope that a lot of black artists, all artists, would see that if you have the opportunity to grab a platform where you are revered and loved by so many, you could use that platform to say and do things that might change the landscape. You don't have to do it to the extremes that I went or that I decided to go, but there are a lot of things in between where you are and what you can do that are worthy of your effort.
So you talk about artists, other artists who have an opportunity to use their fame, to use their celebrity, to try to help correct injustices that exist. We don't see enough of that. We see a lot of photo ops, but we don't see a real activism. I know you had a friendship with Frank Sinatra and other tough guys. Give me an example of your hard streak and your tough side, and not just this soft, incredibly charismatic side. Is it so far buried beneath all of these years of success, or is it still there?
Oh, it's not buried, it's just controlled.
Your life and the life of others like you, the life that you've chosen, isn't about consuming, it's about giving. It isn't about, and maybe that doesn't generate a certain amount of economic GDP, but it generates a tremendous amount of, I don't know, moral wealth in this country. And I think that we've lost track in the last 30 or 40 years from having that interest and talking to our kids about that, of having a moral center focused on others, giving to others, mentoring others, always giving back. So it's just great that this is the example that you've led.
I would just like to make one final observation. There's so much that's going on in our world and our society that you can latch onto, and rather than try to explain it away, become more engaged with what it is to try to find out what's really going on.
My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town.